survivors. They form a vital component of coordinated multi-sectoral responses for survivors and are critical in supporting their rights, their safety and their well-being. And secondly, the manner in which these services are provided also has a simple, when someone experiences violence, first of all, she's in a state of trauma. And secondly, she may not know where accurate information. She should have access to crisis counseling, which is appropriate to the form of violence that she has experienced. Legal aid should also be made their plans for the coming year. They wanted to build 4 model rural equality in line with ESP guidelines, 4 districts. And lastly, we're supporting the ending violence against women and girls alike, respond to violence against women through various activities. So that's an overview of what we did from each province in the panel discussion, which is to follow what the provinces are doing on ESP. And I hope that
the first panelist is Ms. Saira Alaba, Secretary, Women Development, Balochistan. Thank you very much for joining us. Our second panelist is Ms. Rukshinda Naz. Currently, she is serving as Violence Against Women. Ms. Rukshinda is an LLM from Coventry University. And thank you very much for joining us. Our third panelist, the Women Development Department, Sindh, Ms. Alia Shahid. Another prestigious
Health survey, 1/3 of the female population from ages 15 to 49 among this whole population, 50% of them do not even talk about. 2016, in which the Pakistan is ranked gender-based violence, things are minimized at our level. We do know that it's very important that voice is a specialized service, and in order to develop a special the objective of ending violence against women. And I would request Madam Sai.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent. I would like to pay my commendation to the UN Women for arranging such events, all the provinces, to coordinate on a very important perspective of ESPs and along done regarding the women initiatives they have taken in their provinces. With regards to very much aware about the violence against women problem in the province, and the government is very much aligned with the SDGs to have recently appointed an ombudsperson for protection against sexual harassment. Along that, we have already, which is in promulgation, and the women empowerment, and this is also under the supervision of WTD, and we have also notified it, and we are also providing a platform for law enforcement agencies where the informal and formal justice system.
Through social welfare complexes in each tribal districts. And each tribal districts, the social welfare complex will be, with support of UNDP, going to initiate the women desk. These women desks are basically related to policy. They will oversee the implementation plan in the bulk districts and later on in the settled areas as well. Then there is another achievement for us, because getting 18 years of age for a child was not an easy task in the province. Anyhow, that milestone about to achieve now, because this legislation going to be with the cabinet, and soon we are looking where opposition government, most of MPs, I'm not saying all, but most of parliamentarians are on the same page. Again, there's also packages, laws related, for example, women right to equal ownership, or right of ownership, and then the women widow, deserving widows legislation was another supportive legislation available in this province. Then, other than policies, like women policy is there, and still now under the 10-year package for the social protection, under the social protection policy is again under review by Women Political Caucus. In terms of institutional framework, other than women desk in the merged districts and the social welfare complexes, the KP government is strengthening legal aid processes. For example, in the province, each district has women district attorneys as a pro bono lawyer, and women are also there. For example, in Malakand, Ahmedabad, Peshawar, and in some other districts. So the first time in the budget, in the recent budget, 70% budget in the education sector reserved for girls' education, and especially in the Merg district, under the new hiring for the colleges, the women lecturers number is higher as compared to the men candidate. And the first 3 assistant commissioners appointed in 3 areas of district Khyber to give to give profile to women in the civil services. So there are number of initiatives by KP government, and because now I have the mic, so I have to speak about the ombudsperson office as well, because I always take this opportunity. So KP ombudsperson office is in place, and we are closely working with our other stakeholders, KPPCSW and Social Welfare, Child Protection Commission, Civil Society, and we are trying to not only establish writ of the state to protect women at the workplace, we are also trying to contribute in the process where we can play our role within the state machinery as a watchdog to protect women and ensure the basic service of protection at all levels. Thank you.
This is the need of the time. So we have legislation, we have other things, but taking it minutely, analyzing it, and then making some amendments where over the past few years the implementation has shown the loopholes and the gaps are there. So the other two acts is one is the Women Powers Act. We are trying to make it sort of institutionalized, providing powers and giving the status of the standing committee. And third is the
coordinated system that gives support at all levels. And also the challenges faced, the one stands on top is the effective information technology for the data management. And I would like now to ask Madam Khanis Fatma, to have her insights on the subject.
This panel, and this is about the violence against women. And I also the member of panel promoting Urdu language, so I would like to speak Urdu. Please forgive me. Please. ये है कि औरतें चूँकि जब उनके साथ किसी भी किस्म की वायलेंस होती है, तो वो आपको पता है कि जो हमारा थाना कल्चर है, औरतें वहाँ जाती हैं तो वो अच्छा फील नहीं करती, क्योंकि वहाँ पे जो बिहेवियर उनके साथ होता है تو موسٹلی تو عورتیں گھر بیٹھ جاتی ہیں کہ ہم نے اس کے بعد کچھ آگے جاتی ہیں تو عدالتوں کے چکر اور لائرس کے ساتھ اور سارا جس طرح سے اس اتھارٹی کو بیسکلی بنانے کا مقصد یہ تھا کہ ایک ہی شیلٹر تلے ایک ہی چھتری کے نیچے عورت آئے، اس کے ساتھ جو بھی کسی قسم کا کوئی وائلنس ہوئی ہے، کوئی زیادتی ہوئی ہے، اسے ایک ہی شیلٹر تلے اس کے پرابلمس کو سالو کیا جائے۔ اب اسی طرح کی اتھارٹی ہم 4 اور مختلف جو ہمارے سٹیز ہیں وہاں پہ ہم بنا رہے ہیں ان کے سینٹر۔ فرسٹ جی ہم لاہور میں بنا رہے ہیں، اس کے بعد پنڈی ہے، فیصل آباد ہے اور بھاگلپور ہے، اور اس کے جتنے بھی کوآرڈینیٹرز ہوں گی وہ لیڈیز ہوں گی اور وہ ڈسٹرکٹ وائز ہوں گی، اور اس کے لیے ہمیں جتنے بھی یہاں پہ ہمارے اسٹیک ہولڈرز ہیں ان کی رہنمائی کی بھی ضرورت ہوگی۔ ہمارا ایکٹ کمپلیٹ ہے لیکن سجیشن آلویز اوپن ہوتی ہے، کیونکہ بہت سی چیزیں ہم کر رہے ہوتے ہیں تو بعض اوقات بہت سی چیزیں مسنگ بھی ہو جاتی ہیں، تو ہم چاہیں گے جیسے یون وومن ہیں اور دوسرے اسٹیک ہولڈرز ہیں یہاں بیٹھے ہیں، میرے پینل میں بیٹھی ہیں میری بہنیں نیلو پروونس سے، تو ہمیں مل کے بیٹھنا چاہیے۔ آپ لوگ جب بھی پنجاب کا میٹنگ رکھتے ہیں چاروں صوبوں کی، ہم مل کے بیٹھیں، اور اس کی لیجسلیشن تو ہو چکی ہے، اب ہم اس کی امپلیمنٹیشن پہ ہم نے فوکس کرنا ہے، ہم نے کس طرح سے اس کی امپلیمنٹیشن کروانی ہے۔ جیسے میری بہن نے کہا کہ اس کو ہم نے پینیٹریٹ کرنا ہے گراس روٹ لیول پہ، یو سی لیول پہ لے کے جانا ہے۔ ہم نے پروونس لیول پہ کیا، ڈسٹرکٹ لیول پہ کیا، اب ہم اس کو یو سی لیول پہ لے کے جانا چاہیے۔ اور اس میں جتنی بھی جیسے ہراسمنٹ کے کیسز ہیں آج کل بہت زیادہ، جب سے میں نے اتھارٹی کا چارج لیا ہے سب سے زیادہ جو میں کیسز فیس کر رہی ہوں وہ ایسڈ ہیں۔ ایسڈ کے اتنے زیادہ کیسز ہیں، اور ساؤتھ پنجاب میں اس کی بہت زیادہ ریشو ہے، اور کوئی ایک میں نے تو فرسٹ ٹائم سنا ہے کہ کالا پتھر کوئی چیز ہے جس سے بہت زیادہ عورتوں کو بھون کے پلا دیا جاتا ہے، یا وہ ان کو اتنا فیڈ اپ کر دیا جاتا ہے کہ وہ خود اس کو کھا کے تو اس کی سڈنلی ڈیتھ ہو جاتی ہے۔ تو ہمارے برن سینٹر ہے جیسے پنجاب میں، ان کے اوپر ایسڈ پھینک دیا جاتا ہے، ان کے ہسبینڈ ہیں یا ان کے کوئی فیونسی ہیں یا سسرال میں کوئی ہیں، جس طرح سے بھی۔ تو یہ چیزیں جو ہیں ان کے لیے ہمیں بیٹھ کے ان چیزوں کو سارٹ آؤٹ کرنا پڑے گا، اور دیکھنا پڑے گا کہ کس طرح سے ہم چاروں صوبوں سے جو مطلب لوگوں کی ریکمنڈیشن ہے وہ بیٹھیں، اور ہم اس پہ کس طرح سے امپلیمنٹیشن کروا سکتے ہیں۔ اس کے لیے ہم آپ سب کی مجھے ہیلپ کی ضرورت رہے گی، اور جہاں بھی چاہیں ہم ایک گیٹ ٹوگیدر رکھ سکتے ہیں، کے پی میں رکھ سکتے ہیں، سندھ میں رکھ سکتے ہیں، پنجاب میں، بلوچستان میں، تاکہ ہم اس اویئرنیس کیمپین چلائیں، اور جو یوتھ ہے اس کو ہم اسپیشلی یوتھ کو ہم اس کے لیے اویئر کریں، کیونکہ جب یوتھ ہماری اویئر ہوگی تو ہی ہم ان چیزوں پہ قابو پا سکیں گے۔ تھینک یو۔
Thank you very much.
We are doing in our province as a commission. The commitment in the Constitution of Pakistan. So we are developed consisting 21 members, including chairperson and secretary, and 19 members, from which 5 Home Department, Social Welfare, Women Development Department, Law Department, and Finance Department. And as there are also rest of the members from civil society, from the legal and social gender activists. The commission has a mandate to examine policies, law and initiatives taken for gender equality, and to make suitable recommendation under the power. The SCSW has reviewed 5 laws in their in the sense for in consultation with the expert and practitioners. Uh, uh, the first outcome of the UN's program for ending violence against women, that is making pro-women laws to
revised standard operating procedure and also focused for the empowerment of women. Government of Baluchistan has taken different initiatives during the current financial years. We are going to establish दारुल अमान एट नसीराबाद डिस्ट्रिक्ट, जो कि वहाँ पे बहुत से केसेस हैं, इसीलिए हमने यही समझा कि एक दारुल अमान वहाँ पे इस्टेब्लिश हो। तो इंशाल्लाह इस साल जो है वो इस्टेब्लिश करेंगे दारुल अमान एट नसीराबाद बलूचिस्तान। इस साल we have another initiative. The government of Baluchistan इस वक्त in this year जो हमारा जो budget है, that is pro poor and pro women budget, social protection पे बहुत ज़्यादा funds इस दफ़ा allocate किया government of Baluchistan ने। Human Development Program वो इस दफ़ा launch कर रहे हैं under जो collaboration है with the support of World Bank, जिसमें women focused है। इस एक component है vulnerable person with disability and women, वो भी focused है इसमें। तो उसमें skills development भी है और loan ताकि वो अपना business start कर लें। इसी तरह government of Baluchistan is going to establish child protection units, जिसमें referral mechanism number we will inaugurate the child protection units in Baluchistan. We have also approved the SNEs and we have development department and all other stakeholders, and हम monthly basis, quarterly basis we हमारी meeting होती है कि women empowerment पे किस तरह हम उसको आगे ले जाएं। We are going to with the transgender policy जो है, that is also in final stage to safeguard their rights. Government of Baluchistan Human Rights Directorate, we are going to establish Human Rights Directorate. We have created the post for director, deputy directors. चूँकि this is also our mandate, human rights, तो वो हम establish, strengthen करने जा रहे हैं। We have also approved another projects scheme for the establishment of social protection and poverty alleviation authority that will also focus on women empowerment and remove the poverty and inequality of women. That is 1,000 million projects. Government of Baluchistan has also taken a very key initiative to support the needy, poor and vulnerable women to provide free treatment. Government of Baluchistan allocated 3.7 million rupees for the treatment of women, and this is allocated 3 billions, and the proceedings, that is now the funds have been kept and for investment.
Particular, thank you so much for a wonderful insight into what's happening in the provinces. This is a very important event, and again I congratulate UN Women on leading together with the other. It is still an astounding fact that 1 out of every 3 women around the world have experienced violence in their lives. And I know the figure in Pakistan is much higher. Indeed, it makes us sick to think that every 2 hours a woman is raped in Pakistan. Australia is not immune either. In Australia, at least 1 woman a week is killed by a partner or a former partner. That's not acceptable. This sort of pervasive violence leads to a wide range of physical, mental and sexual health problems, and it also has a huge impact on the economy. In Australia, that's estimated to be about $22 billion a year. That's per year, $22 billion per year on this sort of violence. For us in the Australian government and through our aid program, we pursue equal opportunity for women and girls as a core policy priority. That's both at home and overseas. A key focus of that is violence against women. So we're so pleased to hear some of the success stories particularly around legislation and implementation, slow, but it's happening, implementation of that legislation and some of the action plans. The Ministry of Human Rights here has stated that the country remains committed to ending violence against women and girls, and in particular engaging men and boys in that struggle. It's critical that both genders are involved in this. Women and girls have a right to live free from violence, but until that right is universally realised, a comprehensive package of essential services must be available to support those affected by violence, wherever and whenever it happens. So that's why Australia is so proud to be part of this initiative and to be one of the founding supporters of this joint effort that has resulted in partners, all the key partners coming together: UNFPA, UN Women, UNODC, UNDP and WHO. Sorry for the acronyms. But coordination across agencies is the only way that we will have sustainable long-term impact. We believe that we must have long-term investments providing national level essential services. And that's across not just social services, but as we've heard, justice, police, health. We also think it needs to be a transformative approach to gender equality. So that not just the laws and legislation, but creative prevention initiatives. Data collection, which we've just heard about, which is so important. Otherwise, the problems can be denied so easily. And coordination, including with civil society. The Australian government thinks that civil society is critical if you want to be able to deliver services and have long-term change on gender equality. So to conclude, I'd like to reiterate that the Pakistan government has an opportunity to accelerate the implementation of violence against women laws, to strengthen regulation, and to progress further reforms in support of gender equality. And Aisha, I know you said earlier that you hope to see more success stories. I am 100% confident there'll be more success stories with programs like this and cooperation across all of us. So thank you.
And unified the services package, one that has been deliberated upon. Laws preventing violence. The best way I could recommend, and if there is a need, the federal government, the Ministry of Human Rights can help and assist them to actually notify one of the referral mechanism and protocol, intra-agency protocol concerning violence against children. So that could be a model. That is at the ICT level, but that could be a model. We can circulate it. We have already circulated to the social welfare departments of the provincial governments, but we can circulate it to the territory implementation cells in the provinces and women development departments in the provinces for the greater benefit. As we know that the women development, gender-based violence is one of the high priority area of the government of Pakistan, because in terms of implementation of the recommendations and international protocols concerning women, the Ministry of Human Rights is obliged to implement all the recommendations, and we have, together with the provincial governments, deliberated on the issue how to implement CEDA recommendation. And that's why there's a CEDA committees in all over the provinces deliberating on critical recommendations for implementation. So in terms of deliberating on how to implement this referral mechanism and service essential services package, I think coordination is very essential, because one of the failure in implementing policies, laws, administrative measures is lack of coordination. lack of coordination from the central to provincial governments, and then from provincial government to other stakeholders. So that could be one of the key success if we embark upon the having, for instance, the Secretary Women Development Singh was stating that they are going to adopt at the Union Council level certain empowerment mechanisms for the women. It's very challenging, very challenging. I would request them to deliberate, initially prioritize some of the Union Council, set up a model, and then disseminate and implement across the board. Because we know that Pakistan is heavily legislated country for the women and children in the Committee of Nations. More than 100 laws are available for children, and around 80 plus laws for the women in different set of whether it's a social, economic, and violence related issues. The important is that we need to have effective coordination and build capacity in terms of the interesting officials, because the transfer is one of the issue at the provincial level. If you build capacity of one official and then you face the challenge at other levels, who is going to implement actually. So this issue is to be looked into for consideration. So Ministry of Human Rights, as I said, is available for any strengthening capacity building issue, and right now we are undertaking capacity building measures at the provincial level, and we have a quick assessment of the governments under the EU project in terms of judiciary, in terms of police, in terms of other departments and stakeholders, how to implement all the 7 core human rights conventions, including women and children, CEDA and CRC, ICCPR, UNCAT, and these all deals with the human rights issues, and you can not separate any convention, single convention, in order to grant citizens fundamental rights and human rights. And also in the planning process, in the MDG process, in the SDG process, the government have incorporated certain things. I was listening to the Secretary Balochistan, and she was in a way recommending that they must be part and process of the every committee at the national level. Yes, the Ministry Human Rights has already members from the provincial government, but it is the sovereign decision of the provincial government whom to be nominated and to be represented at the federal level in number of commissions and number of committees. And this has been also noted, and in future hopefully we will be undertaking with little concern as well. So in all, the legislation, implementation of legislation is a challenge. Implementation of policy is a challenge, because we are very good in drafting policies, plans of actions, but in terms of money factor, because Secretary Social Welfare was referring that 3-point-something million are available for the treatment of vulnerable. Billion. If it's a billion, then it's okay, but if it's a million, then again, but again, resource constrained environment is prevailing all over, because health expenditure to the desired extent level is should recommended is to be around 0.7% of the GDP, and also 4% of the GDP the education expenditure, and the state has yet to make some space available, particularly fiscal space to deal. So this is one of the very good initiative. I must congratulate UN Women and other collaborators cooperating the Australian High Commission as well on the issue. But the success of this issue would be we need to have critically analyze this document because it has certain measures and components for different stakeholders. All the stakeholders should be on board, and for them a certain protocol is to be devised in order to have, and automation of the data is also one of the big concern. The Ministry of Human Rights has one of the approved project wherein we are having human rights indicators and data. I think that would also help provincial governments to deliberate. Thank you very much.
For our women and girls in this country, let us move ahead with practical suggestions कि जो हम लोग आपके लिए और आप हमारे साथ मिलके आगे लेके चलें, तो that will be a great service of this country. That will be a great service of this organization कि आपकी आरा के नतीजे में एक ऐसा अमली प्लान हम बनाने में कामयाब हो जाएंगे, and it will be the integral part of this report. And we will try to incorporate all these suggestions in the coming years' work plans and initiatives, and we will try to advocate and lobby with the government departments at the provincial and the federal level, because these both are very important. But to me, after 18th amendment, the devolution which is held in this country, after that the provincial departments are more responsible, and I think today we have found that they are more responsive as well. तो आपने अपना जिस तरह से अमली तौर पर चीज़ें सामने दिखाई हैं, that is a very good point, that is a very good sign. लेकिन जैसा मैंने पहले कहा, अभी बहुत दूर जाना है, अभी मंजिल बहुत दूर है और रास्ता भी बड़ा कठिन है, लेकिन उस कठिन रास्ते पे चलने के लिए क्या आसानियां पैदा की जा सकती हैं. तो हमारे यहाँ to my right and your left side, we have a board at a table, वहाँ पे कार्ड्स भी हैं. I will also request some of you to speak up. आप कहना चाहें हम खुद लिख लेंगे, but as many as बड़ा छोटा सा एक पॉइंट, एक अमल हमें आज बता दें कि what action on these essential services you want from your government. किसी सूबाई हुकूमत का नाम भी लिखना चाहते हैं तो लिख दें कि I want from, अगर वो जनरल है at the federal level or at the provincial level, so you can write that as well. So I will request everybody to participate. So let's move. नुज़र सबसे पहले खड़ी हुई है.